Alrighty, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be covering the Warriors versus the Lakers in round 2 of the playoffs. Would appreciate a like on the video and a sub if you're interested in some more Warriors content. But without further ado, let's jump in. Warriors team stats for the season: 119 points per game, shooting 48% from the field and 38% from the three-point line. Lakers team stats: 117 points per game, 48 from the field as well, shooting 35% from three. Funny how just a few percentage points in the NBA will knock you out of the top 10. That's how tightly contested this season was as far as stats across the board. Warriors and Lakers both heavy on offense while struggling on defense throughout the rest of the season, but there's definitely an asterisk there considering that the Lakers roster was completely overhauled at the trade deadline. Lakers were one of, if not the best team after the trade deadline, as they were trying to make a push for the playoffs and had little margin for error. They were in danger of not even making the play-in prior to those trades. So I was able to rewatch the games that the Warriors and the Lakers played, and unfortunately most of the games were pretty much meaningless for this matchup. Game 1 of the Warriors versus Lakers was game 1 of the season. Warriors did win that one, but this is pre-trade, so obviously the roster that the Lakers have looks a lot different compared to what they are rolling out in the playoffs today. Game 2, no Curry or Bron. Really, again, not much to talk about there. Game 3 was actually just 10 days later. No Curry, full roster for the Lakers. Malik Beasley went off for 7 from 11 from deep. No Wiggins either. Just didn't feel like we could take a lot from this game moving forward. Schroeder and D'Lo had a pretty good game in game 3. That's going to be a tough matchup for us, as Schroeder is a quick guard. That always gives us some issues. Hopefully that GP2, Steph, those guys can handle Schroeder in the series and not allow him to just, get to the rim at will. Can JK get some minutes? JK played a lot of these games. Obviously, they were regular season games. Can he get some minutes in this, considering that the Lakers are one of the biggest teams left in the playoffs? Jonathan Kuminga is one of our best wing defenders. On offense he has struggled, but I think this series is going to match up a lot better for him than Sacramento. And then jumping to game 4 of the series, this was March 5th. Curry was back, but no LeBron. Obviously no Wiggins either. AD went off in this game. He had 39 points. He was dominating both on the offense and defense, just getting blocks, running the floor, getting easy looks, getting putbacks. He was just a menace, and I actually think AD is going to be our biggest issue, but we'll touch on that a little bit later. Okay, let's get to how does our players match up with the Lakers. First thing I want to note is we will actually have home court in this matchup, which is going to be the only home court that we have for the rest of the playoffs. Let's start with Draymond. We're going to need him to have a score first mindset. Obviously the Lakers have a lot more rim protection, so getting to the cup is going to be a lot harder for Draymond. But if he's left wide open in some of the threes, I think he's going to have to take them, and it can't be option 2 or 3. He's going to have that score first mindset for our offense to open up and really keep the defense honest. And his ability to do a little bit more on offense than just playing the traffic cop is going to be really key for us in this Lakers matchup. I think we are going to start our 2 big lineup again. So we're going to have Looney, Draymond, Wiggins, Steph, and Clay. It's just going to make a lot more sense to have Draymond match AD's minutes. Draymond has had a lot of success on AD in the past, and I think we're going to need both Looney and Draymond on the floor to have any chance of getting offensive rebounds, as the Lakers are one of the biggest teams in the league. So I think that lineup is actually going to be our starting lineup unless things drastically change. I will say, watching some of the recaps and highlights of the previous games, obviously Looney and AD were out there quite a bit. Looney held the zone. Looney is one of those defenders that he can play big. AD is not one to try to bully you to the hoop. He is a much more finesse player. I think if Looney can stay in front of him, don't bite on the pump fake and just make him take contested shots over you, that's going to be a good look that we'll take. All right, jumping over to Poole. Obviously, he's going to need to put pressure on the rim. But again, this Lakers team has a big back line, and they're going to have a lot of rim protection waiting for guys like Poole and Steph to try to drive to the rim, bait them into taking layups versus contested jumpers. Poole, though, what he's going to have to do is he's going to have to drive into the body of these defenders and get fouls. He's an amazing free throw shooter, and we've seen in games with Sacramento that he has the capability of being more of a distributor while still managing the offense and putting pressure on the defenders. I think Poole's going to have, good minutes here, but he's going to be limited in how much he's actually on the court. I'm not sure this is going to be a great matchup for Poole unless he just gets stupid hot from 3 or just shooting in general and he's going, then we play the hot hand. All right, lastly, Steph and Clay are going to have to be the best shooters in the series. Now, obviously you pick Steph and Clay over any of the Lakers shooters, but they do have some guys who can hit shots. D'Lo, Reeves, Malik, Bron, they all can hit some shots. And so if Steph and Klay are consistently the best shooters on the court night in and night out, I think we have a good chance of winning this series, but it's going to be tough. Vanderbilt is going to probably play on Klay. He's a big wing defender that can get into the body of Klay and recover. We're going to have to run some heavy actions for Klay to get him good looks, as he can't really create for his own. Steph, he's going to have to take advantage of when D'Lo is out there. Schroeder is a much better defender, but for Steph, to get to the rim or to get fouled or to get open looks, Reeves, D'Lo, Malik, some of those other guys that are probably going to get switched on him, he can take advantage of, and he can get some good looks there. Unfortunately, I think getting to the rim for Steph is going to be a tough one in this series. I would love to see him unlock his float game a little bit more. We saw that in stints during the regular season, but we haven't seen it much recently. And he does have the ability to get to that, paint or the foul line and just put up a 15-footer, a 12-footer, floater, whatever, and it's usually money. So I hope that he can use that to his advantage against some of these bigs against the Lakers. All right, what did Memphis do to get the wins in their series, and what can we take from that? Well, they played with pace, and that's one thing that the Warriors can do really well. Bane also had extreme confidence in his shot, and obviously we don't lack confidence when it comes to Steph and Klay shooting. So I think, even on bad nights, they just have to keep hunting for those open looks, hunting for great shots, and eventually they'll fall. They also didn't let the others beat them. I think that's going to be a huge key for the Warriors. Make LeBron, make AD the workhorses here. If we can limit, the impact of Reeves, Hachimura, D'Lo, Schroeder, Vanderbilt, all those guys who have minimal playoff experience, and just force LeBron and AD to be the workhorse, I think we can wear them down, and it minimizes the damage that the role players have on the Lakers. D'Lo is going to get some heavy minutes. I think he's going to be a point of attack guy that we have to take advantage of. He is so slow-footed, as well as Reeves too. So when those guys are on the court, yes, they are offensive threats for sure, but I think we have to take advantage and run it down their throat when they are playing defense. Lastly is Lakers take their foot off their gas when they are up. And this isn't even just in a game, this is game to game as well. You saw when they were up 3-1 in the series, how they just got absolutely blown out in Memphis. We have to take advantage of that. Or if they rattle off a couple wins in the series, we have to just look at it as game to game and really take advantage of the lack of ability for the Lakers to stay on the gas and really close out series, because there's going to be stretches where the Lakers are up big. The Warriors are one of the best teams getting back into games. We saw a lot of, fourth quarter deficits that we overcame in the regular season, and with the Splash Bros, we have ability to evaporate those leads in minutes. All right, how can the Lakers win this series? I think the most obvious is going to be they play big and much more physical than us. We often struggle with big teams, and the Lakers are no doubt one of the biggest in the entire NBA. They had a free throw disparity for a reason. They attack the rim relentlessly, and so we're going to have to just hope that we can contain the point of attack, lean on GP, lean on Wiggins to really help keep our defense intact, avoid any huge free throw disparities from game to game. Lastly, if AD just plays at an MVP level. I think AD is capable of it, but we are seeing him take his licks in this Memphis series. Memphis is a really physical team, and so if AD isn't fully healthy, that could be one thing that we can take advantage of. But if he is healthy and he's playing at a really high level, there's not a lot we can do to contain AD. All right, final thoughts here. This might be one of the toughest matchups that the Warriors face since KD left the Bay. I think we're definitely capable of winning this series. It's not going to be a quick one. I think if the Warriors can play their style of basketball, move with pace, get out in transition, and play good enough defense, we have a real shot here. I'm going to take Warriors in 7. All right, would appreciate a sub. Again, if you're interested in some more Warriors content, catch you guys in the first breakdown.